Hey, Brad.
Hi.
So, a couple questions.
Sure.
How to relax in front of camera? Some advice on that.
I mean, for me, I think the number one thing I try to remember is that I have to really be honestly willing to fail. So I think the big mistake for people when they're, getting ready to shoot, getting ready to film, and they're standing there, they're always trying to get into a zone. They're always trying to aim for perfection. And to me, I think the number one thing is to be really willing to fail and accept the fact that you may suck and do it as good as you can anyway. I think the mistake is sort of going for perfection or aiming for being in a particular zone because you're setting yourself up to be distracted, because there's always going to be a distraction. Even right now, for example, as I'm talking to you, I mean, there's voices everywhere, and so it'd be very easy for me to be like, oh God, I gotta focus. But when you accept the fact there are going to be distractions, you learn, and you have to practice this. You have to learn how to work around the distractions and not aim for a particular zone to be in. That's, for me, that's probably the number one thing.
Awesome. Cool. So, second question. What's the biggest advice you could give someone who wants to pursue a career in acting?
No regrets. I mean, no regrets. The whole thing for me is how are you going to feel 15, 20 years from now if you never gave it a shot? So, if you have a dream, we're, as far as I know, we're here once. And unless I come back as a caterpillar or, a cat or a dog or whatever, I mean, I don't know. We got one shot. And if you make it as an actor and you become famous, great. And if not, you did everything you could. And you don't say, hey, I wish I could have, or I became a doctor or a lawyer, but I was unhappy. That's what I would say.
Awesome. And last question. So people say, acting is reacting. But what if your acting partner or reader doesn't give you anything?
I think great. All these are all great questions. You have two options. Number one, what I end up using is their lack of energy. Sometimes it depends on the scene, because some scenes it can actually service me, because I can use their lack of interest or lack of attention or lack of focus to use it and fuel it in me. Especially if I'm playing like a character who's annoyed or frustrated or angry, I can use that energy. Hey, give me more, and fuse it into the role. That's number one. That's what I would try to do. And number two, if you're rehearsing a scene and you're ready for an audition, you've already kind of trained your brain to be in a particular place from the practicing. So when you actually go in and you do your scene, you're going to find frequently, even though you're kind of reacting to the casting director, your body's going to kind of just take over, and you may find that you're going to be doing things that you didn't necessarily plan on with a lack of a reaction from a casting director, because it's so ingrained in you already. Because it's all built on muscle memory. Does that make sense?
Cool.
I hope that
Awesome.
Hope that helps.
Thank you, Brad, so much.
Thank you. Thanks for asking.